When you buy Kroger brand products, you feel like you're winning. That's because they offer proven quality at lower than low prices. In fact, we guarantee that you and your family will love how Kroger brand products taste, or you get your money back. So next time you're shopping for the family, look for delicious Kroger brand products, because they'll make you all feel like you're winning. Shop now, in-store, or online. Bakers, fresh for everyone.
Tired of ads interfering with your favorite sports podcasts? Good news. Ad-free listening is available on Amazon Music for all the music plus top podcasts included with your Prime membership. Stay ahead of the game by downloading the Amazon Music app for free or go to amazon.com/sports ad free. That's amazon.com/sports ad free to catch up on the latest episodes without the ads.
It's time to get inside the Giants Huddle.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
On Giants.com.
I like it, I like it.
And the Giants mobile app.
Boom, give me some juice.
Part of the Giants Podcast Network.
Let's roll.
Welcome to another episode of the Giants Huddle podcast, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Football Giants. I am John Schmeelk. As we go through our position series, take a look at the Giant players position by position, and we'll interview a bunch of them back on our media day in the middle of June. So we're going to start with the quarterback position. The Giants obviously head in with a very crowded quarterback room with Daniel Jones, Drew Lock, and Tommy DeVito. Here's my conversation with them. All right, now we're joined by Giants quarterback Daniel Jones. Daniel, how are you, man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. All right, so we're talking, just so people have the timestamp on it, middle of June. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling physically?
Feeling good. Knees in a good spot. We've followed a well planned and well scheduled rehab process here with the Giants, with the trainers and strength staff, and I feel like we're in a good place. So I'm running, cutting, throwing, doing everything I need to do, and should be good to go for camp.
Yeah, and obviously better safe than sorry in the spring. You don't want to go out there so fast. But honestly, look, watching you move out there, I mean, physically, it doesn't seem like you're holding back from anything. You're moving around really, really well out there, at least from my eyes. Yeah,
well, no, I feel really good. I'm like I said, I'm running and cutting, and it's actually given me a chance to work on a lot of that change of direction stuff and throwing your foot in the ground, and making sharp, clean cuts and using proper techniques. So, in that way, hopefully I'll be even better.
Have you been able to get what you need out of the spring, working on the 7-on-7 stuff with maybe some of the new wide receivers that you would normally have to do, in team, but you're a little bit more limited now? Have you gotten enough reps to kind of get comfortable with some of the new guys?
Yeah, I mean, I think you always want more reps. You always want as much as you can get, and I think the time in the spring is valuable, and the team reps are valuable. So it's unfortunate not to be able to be out there, but gotta make the most of the time I do have, and I think we've done that with 7-on-7 and routes on air and trying to grab guys after practice and different things. You try to fill in the spots, but we'll be ready to go. I think we've had a really good spring, and it's been good working with those guys.
Aside from Darius, you have a pretty young wide receiver group, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, Wandell's in his third year, but he missed the whole year, so it's kind of like his second year. Jalen Hyatt's in his second year. Malik Neighbors is a rookie. How has it been like trying to train those guys up, and do you see the promise of those guys starting to manifest itself on the field as they kind of get used to what they're being asked from in this offense?
Yeah, for sure. I think all those guys bring something different to the table, and they all they all want to improve, want to learn, and want to kind of build this thing together, and that's the fun part. So there's a lot of speed on the field. I think that's something that you realize pretty quickly watching those guys is they can all run. They can get behind the defense, and but yeah, we'll keep working through this mini camp and then into training camp.
What does it do for a quarterback to have a guy like Neighbors that not only can you dump the ball to him and that's a 70-yard run. That goes on my stat line. That's nice. And also a guy that he has the strength and the body control and the athleticism to win downfield, or even maybe he is a half a step on a guy. He's not really open, but you could feel the confidence to throw him the ball down the field that he's going to go up there and make the play.
Yeah, I think that, obviously helps a quarterback out a lot, having a guy like that. And he's excited to get to work with him. And I think training camp will be very important that way, and getting on the same page and seeing what he can do. So, I'm excited.
Obviously, more time than you wanted to think probably this offseason with the injury and the rehab and a lot of that stuff. When you had a chance to kind of rewatch and look back to the time you were on the field last year, what were some of the stuff that you saw that you're, all right, well, these are some things that I want to try to really focus on this offseason when I'm not rehabbing to try to improve and get better at?
I think, a number of things. I think, making sure that we're, better on third down, I think was a big thing, watching it and talking about it this offseason, making sure we're staying on the field and putting together long drives. I think we're still, we're trying to improve our, creating explosive plays and getting the ball downfield and, hitting the chances that we get. So, that's throwing the ball accurately, letting guys run, and then, taking advantage of the shots we have. So those are things we're always working on, but we got a lot of guys who can make big plays.
You talk about taking advantage of the shots as they have. Is that just as a quarterback, early, once, pre-snap, of course, but once you get the ball in your hands, understanding when you might have those opportunities to push the ball down the field and making sure when you do, that's when you do, in fact, have a chance to take advantage of them?
Yeah, I think it goes both ways. I think seeing it, understanding what you're getting, and finding the opportunities, and then executing once you see them. But, I think that's a big part of creating explosive plays. But I think they also happen when you're executing well, and you're throwing the ball accurately, giving a guy a chance to catch and run, or we're, even in the run game, everyone's doing their job and covering the guys up and opening up spots for people to run. So there's a lot of ways to create explosive plays, and I think it's about, executing, everybody doing their job, and taking advantage of your opportunities. Final
question. Darius Lane was here talking to me, and he basically said that he thought the offense last year got really hamstrung through nobody's fault, just that there were so many injuries all over the place, right? Whether it was, Wandell coming back from injury, he wasn't on the field very early in the year, Jalen trying to figure things out as a rookie. I don't think you had the same starting offensive line in front of you or Tyrod or Tommy for the first 8 or 9 games of the year. How much will it help the offense if you can just have kind of that set group and keep them together and have them all on the field for consecutive games early in the year, so you can kind of find that rhythm and just kind of get going as a group?
Yeah, I think that's extremely important. We got banged up pretty early last year, in the first couple 3 weeks, and
first drive of the year, you lost your left tackle pretty much with the hamstring. That's as bad as it gets.
Yeah, but you never want to make excuses, and definitely a lot of things we could have done better last year. But staying healthy is a big part of winning, in the NFL, and everyone's dealing with it. So try to do the best we can to stay healthy through camp and stay healthy through the first few weeks.
Well, we can't wait to see you on the field, Daniel. I'm so happy your recovery's gone well, and we can't wait to see you play.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're ready for a change. Payday comes early with Citizens, so go to that retreat. New you moves to the country. Now you're raising goats and launching a lifestyle brand. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Football is coming, and so is the next college semester. If you need funding, a Citizens student loan could help you pay for 100% of your school certified cost. Get your rate quote in about 2 minutes at citizensbank.com/payforcollege. And now we're joined by Giants quarterback Drew Lock. Drew, what's happening, man?
Oh, just learning a new offense, learning what New Jersey's all about, and taking some photos here today.
New offense, new town, the whole deal. A lot is new. And what everyone tells me, especially the receivers, how tough this offense is. So if it's tough with the receivers, I got to imagine it's going to be 3 times as tough for the quarterback. So put me in your shoes. What's it like learning this offense? And maybe what are the specific challenges in this particular offense that makes it extra tough?
Yeah, it is tough. It is tough for sure. There's a lot that's asked of you. But at first when you're like, holy cow, like, this is crazy.
Fire hose turned on.
And then the more and more it starts to click, the more and more you realize you're being asked to do this, and the more and more you realize how good it could be for us out on the field. So it is a lot, but you don't feel like it's busy work. You truly feel like you're doing this for the right reason. You're learning this, and it's going to be very applicable when you get out there, because from what I've seen and what I've been a part of and just the OTAs here, it's an awesome offense.
Yeah, and this is my follow-up, is you said how it's applicable, right? Because there's one thing for something to be complicated, and then all of a sudden you get out there and like, this shouldn't be this complicated. Why are they making it so complicated?
Yeah.
But what's the benefit of the complexness once you get on the field and you're trying to execute this thing in a game situation?
Yeah, you get to play fast. It requires you to learn all the little bits and pieces early. Therefore, you never think about them ever again. So you get to go out there, play fast, know what you're doing. It's an offense that asks a lot of you, but we're all in the professional football league, right? We're in the National Football League, and this is what we're supposed to be doing. This is our job, and if we can all just dive into it, it could be a really fun offense to run.
Now, obviously, I'm just watching OTAs. I'm a layman, but what I thought I literally could see the offense get more in sync and get better as the OTAs went along. Was that a matter of just not just you, but there's a lot of new receivers on this team, new tight ends, all of you guys finding that rhythm and learning that offense together?
Yeah, this is my 6th OTAs, and it kind of always feels like that, right? Like you come in, there's a little franticness at the beginning, like, oh, we're not as sharp as we need to be. Yeah, well, we've all been living in different cities. We haven't been together, right? We just started throwing again, and like you said, day by day, it just kept getting better and better for us. And yeah, it comes with us throwing to these guys for the first time you never thrown to them, to calling a play in the huddle, using words you've never used before. It's like learning a foreign language. I know that's said a lot about learning a new offense, but it really is. Go try to learn Spanish or French, and you could stumble into your little app, and get in trouble by the app. And if you go out here and you stumble, like, you're gonna get your head knocked off. So like, it's complex, but it's gonna be great.
Specifically, what are some of the things about this offense that you like that can make the most of your talents and skill set?
Yeah, I feel like Dave's does a really good job of knowing the quarterback position. Early in my career, I heard if it's not easy for the quarterback, it's not going to be good for the team. Once you have a guy that kind of adapts that mindset, like, we're going to make this quarterback, it's going to seem easy. Obviously, what we do is not easy, but you're going to go out there, feel confident, think this is easy. And I think Dave's does a really good job of teaching and making this offense so the quarterback feels that way.
You were around a pretty darn good wide receiver room in Denver. You were around an awesome wide receiver room in Seattle last year. Tell me about this wide receiver room.
Yeah. It's obviously when you get here, it takes more than just routes versus air to say how good a wide receiver room or a tight end room or a running back room is at catching. So like you said, we got better and better throughout the OTAs went, and I saw those guys just come into their own, right? They got to learn how I throw. I got to learn how they run. I got to learn where they like the ball put. There's a lot of steps to it, but I've been really, really impressed with this room. Malik's came in and done an awesome job. Wandale's great. Isaiah's great. Both Isaiahs are great. Bryce has been awesome. Jalen Hyatt can fly. Saw that at Tennessee. I've been really impressed with these guys. Like you said, coming from a room like Seattle is where it's...
You guys said you had guys there, man.
Those are some...
You had guys.
Really, really good receivers. To come in and feel like we're not missing a beat feels good.
All right, I just want to ask you specifically about Malik. Rookies, it can be tough getting along. What's his upside, the way he moves on the football field?
He has a high upside, without a doubt. I feel like if you saw my face, you'd realize what I'm saying here with saying politely he has a high upside. Explosive, goes and gets the ball when it's thrown to him, can make guys miss in space, whether he has the ball in his hand or is running the route.
Does that give you guys confidence to throw it to him even when maybe he's 75% covered?
Absolutely. The worst thing is for a Q, when you come out, you're seeing they're playing man, and you're like, I got no one I could trust to get the ball, right? I don't know who to go through here. So having a guy that you're almost praying they play man now, so which feels nice. It feels nice. It's a lot like how you felt with DK at the X. No one really wanted to press him. No one really wanted to play man. Now Malik is a rookie, and he's not played a real game yet, so I'm not saying he's DK Metcalf, but you get the sense and feeling that if they want to play man, you got a guy you can go to.
True. Awesome stuff. I can't wait to see it in the summer. Thank you.
Thank you.
You love turf. You're good at it. So you start a turf biz. Business grows, your savings grow. Become the most celebrated name in turf. Are you ready for all that life brings?
Now we're joined by Giants quarterback Tommy DeVito. Tommy, how are you, man?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm doing great, dude. So tell me, I'm sure last year when you look back at it, it maybe didn't feel like it at the time, but it was kind of a whirlwind. A lot of stuff hit really fast for you. When you had a chance to kind of settle after the season and look back, how'd you think about how you handled it all and how you played?
For sure. Like you said, it was whirlwind, happened real fast. So it did take me, until like a week after the season to just go back and just like mentally just go over everything that kind of happened. But I think I handled it well. Shout out to my circle, everyone that had around me, handled a lot of that for me so I can focus on football. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and a lot to learn and grow from.
All right, so let's talk about the on-the-field stuff because that's the most important, obviously. What are some of the stuff when you look back at how you played that you kind of put on your little checklist this offseason? All right, I want to work on A, B, C, or D.
Yeah, it's all mental, really. Just learning more about the offense, more about defenses, breaking that down. So that ultimately on the field helped me get the ball out of my hands fast, take less sacks. So obviously, that's the big thing, especially for quarterbacks, especially how it was going last year. You want to take less sacks. So for me, it was between the ears and being able to really have the second year under my belt in the offense.
I mean, a lot of that's just reps and experience, right? Like, it's one thing to sit down in front of a screen and watch tape and everything, but I mean, those reps last year, I can't imagine how invaluable those are for a young player just to get those full-speed reps against first-teamers and their team in real games to make that progress go even faster, right?
For sure. Not a lot of people get that opportunity that I had to be able to go in there, especially my first year, having that, because like you said, watching it on film and watching it behind practice, even practice completely different than a game situation, game scenario. Everything is ramped up times 1,000. So to be able to have those, it was huge for me.
And it probably gives you a really good idea, too, actually being able to execute what you're learning in the classroom in a game. It really gives you a better idea of what you need to work on.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, the way you see things at that point is different. Obviously, doing it in high school and college for a while, but NFL, it's a completely different ball game. So to be able to, really be in that position, because everybody can sit there Monday morning quarterback watching, and be, oh, why didn't he go here, why didn't he go there? But it's a little different being in college. But okay, you can fit that in there versus the NFL. You got, Dex and guys like that bearing down on you in the corner. Everybody's 4'3". It's just a little bit different. So to be able to have, that experience, it just gives me a different mindset, different thoughts when I'm watching.
So with those goals in mind, how do you think your offseason has gone?
I think it's gone really well. I was down in Florida with a bunch of guys from all over the league. Tay Banks was down there, so we spent some good time together. But yeah, it went really well.
And, Daniel's just doing 7-on-7 here in the spring. So you and Drew have kind of gone back and forth. You've gotten reps with all bunch of guys, the ones, the twos. How do you think that experience has been, trying to get that extra work with Daniel still in the rehab process?
It's been awesome. Yeah, like DJ was last year. It was a huge help to me last year, and now even more, especially with Drew adding into the room. Me and Drew we're very similar. We've got along real quickly.
Nice.
I was kind of in his shoes last year as far as learning the offense in a very short period of time. But to be able, again, I didn't get all these reps last year. So to be able to throw to, some ones receivers and twos, to get that experience throwing with them was beneficial.
And we know how complicated this offense can be, right? It's I talk to the receivers that one word, you got to know 3 different things, an adjustment if they do this, motion, all that sort of stuff. So for a quarterback, you got to know what everybody is going to do. Can you kind of explain to fans how the terminology of without giving out state secrets, obviously, how the terminology of the offense works and what you have to know on every play based off the play call and why this is such a tough thing to kind of get mentally?
Right, it is so complex. Obviously, it's my first NFL offense, so this is what I'm kind of this is, I don't want to say the standard, but from what I've heard, it's the most challenging to learn. So for me to come in as a rookie and get it all thrown at me was kind of crazy. But first, starting off with the cadence, there are so many cadence codes words that we always talk about in the quarterback room. If a receiver tells you who to throw the ball to, let him come in and tell us the cadences first. And they can't even get that down. So yeah, then it goes down to, in this offense, we have one word that tells you if there's a motion, formation, protection, route concept, this, that,
that's
all
one
word.
Wow.
And then there'll be little adjustments to that one word that completely change that, and there's probably 300, 400, 500 of them.
And that's based on what the defense is showing you, right? Pre-snap?
Yeah, 100%. Based off that one word, and then obviously there's the long, dragged-out calls that are freaking. I'm sure you've heard it back in the past. People having to recite them in the headset. So it's very complex, but at the end of the day, once you have it down and once you master it, you're able to go out and play free and do your thing. But honing in on that and making sure you have that down will make you play fast on the field.
All right. So the final question. This is what I was going to ask you then. Once you figure it out, how does that complexity help you be a better player?
Because you know where your answers are at all situations. I'll say that, like you talked about before, with the speed of the game and guys that are older, like Brady and all them, they knew their offense so inside out. They know exactly what's going on with all the experience and reps that they've taken. They won't take those sacks. They know exactly where an outlet is. They know where everybody is supposed to be. Obviously, there's some MAs here and there, but
of course,
they know where everybody's supposed to be. Their answers are at all times, so they'll just get the ball out of their hands. And I think that's going to be my next step moving forward from last year to this year.
So reducing those sacks, it's really to you just a matter of processing quicker, seeing it faster, and then getting the ball out quick.
I mean, there's always going to be some kind of jailbreak, this, that, the other thing. Sacks are going to happen.
Of course.
But in order to minimize them, it's going to help for sure.
Tommy, good luck this season, man. We appreciate it.
I appreciate you.
Really good stuff from the 3 quarterbacks there. Looking forward to seeing those guys on the field in training camp. Thanks for joining us for the Giants Huddle podcast, brought to you by Citizens, the official bank of the New York Football Giants. We'll see you next time, everybody.
You've probably heard a lot about electrified vehicles lately. Well, Toyota has electrified options for every lifestyle. We've got hybrids, no plug needed.
Let's go.
But we also have plug-in hybrids, if that's your thing.
Woo-hoo.
You can even go 100% electric in the Toyota bZ4X. With so many options for reducing carbon emissions, Toyota is electrified, diversified. Learn more about our Beyond Zero vision for the future at toyota.com/beyondzero.
You never want to find yourself out on the water fishing without the essentials. So it's best to always pack a Columbia PFG Solar Stream Elite hoodie to protect against the sun. I mean, it provides great protection and it's really breathable so you don't get hot. That's a win-win. Columbia PFG has a lot of great gear. So before you head out on the water, head over to Columbia.com/PFG to shop their performance fishing gear.